Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Friday, May 24th, 2024. So, at the start of the Memorial Day weekend...
Happy Memorial Day weekend.
Woohoo! Did you do the crossword?
I did.
And was it memorable?
It was pretty memorable, yeah.
I'm going to remember it for a long time because it was so hard.
Oh.
One part of it for me, which I'm sure you had no trouble with.
Okay. Well, tell me which part.
Well, since it's sort of, the grid appears like an X, so you just get to pick which corner. You try and guess which corner, I guess.
Okay. Well, I will guess the lower right corner.
Nope.
Oh, that's where I had trouble.
Oh, okay.
But,
You have 3 corners left.
the upper right corner.
Nope.
Okay.
You have 2 corners left.
The upper left corner.
Correct.
Because it had Spanish in it.
It had Spanish, it had animals, it had references to what I presume are aspects of women's makeup.
Uh-huh.
And then it started referencing foreign countries. I went wrong. I went off the rails because for one across, the clue was right. And so I said, oh, sure.
Me too.
Oh, well, it just sounded right to say, oh, sure.
Yes.
And then, but one down, the antelope that can leap up to 10 feet off the ground. So animals are not my strong suit. I'm not as bad with animals as I am with Spanish, but I'm not great. And so I had it ending, I had an A and an A there, and I thought, oh, it's alpaca. Which apparently is not an antelope that can leap up to 10 feet off the ground. No. And so I was trying to do as much as I could with alpaca, and so I had am sure. And I thought, that doesn't sound right, but I didn't know, the one beneath am sure, at least that's what I had, 13 across, some eyeshadows. So I had it starting with L-A, and I had it ending with E-S, and I thought, lashes. The lashes sort of shadow your eyes. They're always there with your, you close your lid. What do the lashes do? They follow. They shadow. It made perfect sense to me. And so I had lashes, 15 across, one in the right place at the right time, where right in both cases was spelled R-I-T-E. That was priest.
That's correct.
I was able to get that one. And then 17 across, I was almost ready for. It might be pressed for cash, ATM.
That's right.
But then 21 down, I was having trouble, and I was still sticking with alpaca. So city that's northwest of Cuzco, or a city that's northwest of Columbus. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the city of Sita or Siva or Sila, but anyways, it's starting with a C and an I, and there's a letter there that I did not know and an A. And the reason I didn't know that third letter, I mean, there are other reasons why I didn't know the first 2 or the last, but 3 down, repetition of self-calming movements, such as finger tapping or hair twirling, is stimming.
Stimming, yes.
I found that stunning because I had never heard of stimming before.
No, I had not either.
At least I don't think I have.
No, I'm sure I have not.
That's got to be a debut, right? I mean, I couldn't believe it would be anything else other than. Let's have a quick peek at our favorite website, xwordinfo.com. And when we look for the debut words, there were 12 debut answers.
Oh, my goodness.
Including stimming.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that was just pretty challenging for me. Let's see here if I can get back to the actual crossword.
Mm-hmm. Well, the crossword to me, it was interesting when I first looked at it because the design was very simple. It had it almost looked like a twirly whirly thing that you'd have as a kid, a little
A pinwheel?
pinwheel.
Right?
And but because of that, most of the answers were not very long. They were maybe 5 or 6 letters, and you had some that were just 3 and 4 letters.
That's true.
Which is kind of unusual in a Friday and Saturday. Usually there are just an awful lot of long answers.
Right.
But here there really were just like 3 kind of in the middle there. And so that helped me a lot when they weren't so long. And yeah, I finished this in about half the time that I usually spend on a Friday. So I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, I basically, Friday night, I was just like, I am out of steam. I'm sorry, let me try that one more time. Thursday night, I was just like out of steam. And I thought, I am just going to, since I am currently on break from teaching, I am going to see what happens when I try and do a crossword on a Friday morning. And on a Friday morning, it was just like, wow, this is the time of day when apparently I do know things. And it was just a delight because I was like, I couldn't, it still took me a while to get through it. But boy, that felt a lot better than just sort of, sometimes clawing to get words out at night.
Right.
But getting back to that top left corner then, so 13 across, some eyeshadows was mats.
That's right.
The antelope that can leap up to 10 feet off the ground, one down, is an impala.
That is correct.
I don't know how I got that, but it was some miracle. And let's see. And again, we talked about stimming. 2 down, the people often drink it up. So I originally put in Kool-Aid there. And so
Why?
Because people, they talk about you drink the Kool-Aid. You don't necessarily drink it up, but I don't know. So I had Kool-Aid in there. It fitted. It was the right number of letters. And absolutely none of the letters matched anything going across. So there is that. And so I had okay, sure. Right, okay, sure. I mean, it sounded good to me. But once I had Impala, then the city northwest of Cuzco, or a city that's northwest of Columbus, became... I had it starting with an A, with an L rather, and I had it ending with an A, and I'm like, Lima, that's in Peru. That probably has something to do with Cuzco, and I bet there's a Lima, Ohio.
There is, that's right.
Really?
Yes.
Do they pronounce it that way, or do they do something silly like Lima?
No, I think they pronounce it Lima.
Okay. I didn't know 25 across. Did you know blank Garibaldi, the revolutionary, sometimes called the mother of Italy, Anita?
I did not, but the name was Anita.
Right.
Very pretty.
Yeah. And the rest of the crossword, all sorts of fun bits. 11 down. Some are presidential. I immediately went for vetoes.
You mean 10 down?
Was it 10 down?
Yeah.
Yes, 10 down. You're right. Some are presidential. I went for vetoes.
Oh.
And then eventually to sweets.
Right.
Spelled S-U-I-T-E-S, by the way.
Which was an interesting fact. Cooking product originally invented for soap making. Crisco.
Yeah, that's quite the leap.
Yeah.
It's like, we use it for soap, and now we cook with it.
That's right. We put it in pies and cookies.
And occasionally clean our faces with it. Beneath that, 4th card in Texas Hold'em, the turn.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know how to play poker, so.
Right, I've never heard that phrase before either.
The one that did me in is a very clever clue. Lacking for short. Abbreviation, that's 49 across. Lacking for short. Synonym, S-Y-N, sin. I wanted to put shy because, you say something's, shy of this, which means, just short of something. But it was an abbreviation, so I thought, it can't be that. But it was synonym.
Yes.
Lacking for short.
Yeah, that was...
synonym. I was like, wow, that was a great clue.
That was very subtle. And then 41 down, things that blend in synesthesia. And that was senses.
Yes, that's where I ended up.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure on 52 across, which was the second S in senses, but The clue was Trojan hero claimed as an ancestor by Julius Caesar and Augustus. And it was Aeneas.
Right.
And I was like, is it Aeneas or is it Aeneid? But I think Aeneid, wasn't that like a boat or an island or something that was in that story?
I thought that was let's see, there's the Iliad and the Odyssey, but I thought the Aeneid is another text, another book.
Oh, well.
And I figure Aeneas is someone in that book.
And I was thinking, does he have an I in his name? Like, is it N-I-A-S? But anyway, it turned out to be Aeneas. And once I got that second S, then all I had was the letter right prior to it, the N from census. And I had S-E blank, S-E-S. And I'm like, what could that be? And so I went through the alphabet, and once I hit N, it was like, oh. And then synonym, and I like, oh. It's just like aha moment there.
So you didn't know 41 down, the synesthesia?
No.
Okay, see,
I didn't know what that was.
I was lucky enough to know that that's where people's senses get sort of mixed up. Something tastes orange.
Oh.
Things, it's some sort of psychological ailment, I believe. But so I knew Aeneas looked right because again, there's the Aeneid, but that the first A of Aeneas runs into 44 down Mac maker. 5 letters, had to be Apple.
Oh.
But no, it was Kraft.
Kraft mac and cheese.
And if I may say so, Carolyn Davies Lynch, who wrote this crossword, that was very crafty of you. Let's see if there's anything else.
29 across. That was one of the longest answers with a mullish result.
Mulish. Mm-hmm.
Mulish, is that what it is? With mulish resolve.
Yes.
Intractably.
Yep.
What a great word.
Mm-hmm.
Intractably.
Well, I know the word.
I've got to use that word.
I know the word intractable. Problems are intractable,
yes,
right? But I've haven't heard intractably.
Yeah, in fact, that's what I originally put. But then 24 down was some corporate takeovers, and so I had BUE out.
Yes.
Well, it's got to be buyouts.
Right.
And that intractable became intractably.
Mm-hmm.
So,
let's see. Wedding staple with the line, "Take it back now, y'all." This being 19 down. And the answer was cha-cha slide.
Cha-cha slide, yeah.
Cha-cha slide. Mm-hmm. I presume that's what you say. Cha-cha slide. I don't know.
No, I think it's sort of it's a dance where they've got the music sort of in the background and somebody is calling out like moves, like slide to the right, slide to the left, or
right.
No, the cha-cha slide.
Let's see. 16 down was basic sets of supplies was starter kits.
Yep.
That was also a long answer, and it took me a bit to sort of fill that out. But let's see. 46 across. Metal that cries when bent. The answer was tin.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I listened to it. It doesn't sound like it's going, oh. It sounds more sort of like a screeching sound. Listeners, just Google tin cry and you'll find the appropriate video, or we could put it in the show notes, and we will do that.
Okay.
47 down, get bent out of shape was warp. I appreciated that they had the tin, the metal that cries when bent, right next to get bent out of shape.
That's right.
So nice crossword by Carolyn Davies Lynch.
Yep.
I found it to be such a challenge that I had to turn off the timer, so I don't know how long it took me, but it was a while. But I enjoyed every minute of it.
Okay, well, great.
And it is Friday, which means it's time for Fun Fact Friday. And the other day, we had a clue that involved grape nuts. And so we thought we would talk a little bit about grape nuts. This is from Wikipedia. Grape nuts. And that's spelled, by the way, it's the word grape and a dash and then the word N-U-T-S. So the dash is important. Is a brand of breakfast cereal made from flour, salt, and dried yeast. Developed in 1897 by C.W. Post, a former patient and later competitor of the 19th century breakfast food innovator, Dr. John Harvey Kellogg. Post-original product was baked as a rigid sheet, then broken into pieces and run through a coffee grinder, which is interesting. Grape Nuts was initially marketed as a natural cereal that could enhance health and vitality, and is a food for brain and nerve centers. Its lightweight and compact nature, nutritional value, and resistance to spoilage made it a popular food for exploration and expedition groups in the 1920s and 1930s. In World War II, Grape Nuts was a component of the lightweight jungle ration used by some U.S. and Allied forces in wartime operations before 1944. I would think, haven't they suffered enough and you're giving them Grape Nuts? General Foods marketed Grape Nuts through a comic-style advertising campaign, a trailblazer in this regard, featuring a character named Little Albie, who gained inordinate strength after consuming a bowl of Grape Nuts. That sounds like something right out of Popeye and Spinach.
Yeah.
During the 1940s, comic books from various companies featured one-page comic strip ads starring Volto from Mars, a finned red helmet-clad alien superhero visiting Earth who, like all Martians, recharges magnetic powers, his left hand repels, his right attracts, by eating cereal grains, with him quickly developing a particular fondness for Grape Nuts flakes, which he proclaimed, "the best I ever tasted." Wow.
Whoa.
All right. Well, I think that's probably enough about Grape Nuts and Grape Nuts marketing.
Have you ever eaten Grape Nuts?
I have. It's sort of like eating gravel. I think you have to put it in milk for it to work properly.
My dad used to eat Grape Nuts for breakfast every day.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So
All right.
all taste, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, right. More of a total Raisin Bran person myself. All right. Well, that is it for today then. So thanks everyone for listening. Hope you're enjoying these podcasts.
Yes.
Let us know, crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com, or you can get a hold of us on our Facebook page. Just look for Gene and Mike, do the New York Times crossword. Or you can even send us fan mail. There's a link in the show notes. And that's it for today. We'll be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.